Hello everybody, welcome back to Waffles RC. Today we're getting back on what it is apparently everybody's favorite thing, the trailer. So what I'm going to do today is just finish the welding that needs to be done, make it not so loud, do some finish welding, grinding, and then we're going to get started on the electronics. Because remember, this thing is going to have its own battery, its own receiver, is going to be completely separate from the truck but controlled from the same controller, because I want to be able to disconnect the truck and the trailer without having to bend down, unplug stuff. I don't have time for that, and a bad back, so that's the other reason. So I'll get started on the welding and then we'll get to the electronics. So these are all the electronics that are going to be going on this trailer. We have lights. We have a BEC because we need something to regulate the battery voltage for all the lights and everything. You do need to run one of these if you're going to be running something like this that doesn't have a motor with a BEC built into it. So you need a BEC. What that stands for, I honestly don't know. But from what I've read, they said you need one. So I got one. We have a winch because, well, there's plenty of comments that said it needed a winch. So I caved and I got a winch. And we have more lights, we have the receiver, and more lights. For a trailer, this thing's going to have quite a number of electronics. So before I start welding, I'm going to take all the wheels and tires off because somebody rode on my trailer and debeaded all the tires. So we'll get these off, fix them, but we'll have them off just so I can weld on it. Not that it matters, but don't want to pop a tire. Too late. So what I've made so far off camera is these little feet that go on the bottom of the legs, so that way when they swing down it won't just dig in, it'll have something to slide on. Then I made a little winch plate, and after quite a bit of thinking, couldn't find a good way to be able to unbolt and bolt the winch because it's going to be on the top, so drilled some holes in the bottom so that way I can take my screwdriver with the bolt that's on it and put it in there, and now I can tighten the winch, because from my experience with these winches I'll be needing to replace it. So I made my life easier and just drilled some holes there. Luckily you can't see the bottom of it, so I don't care that there's 4 holes there. And what's it going to do? Rust? It's kind of the goal I'm going for. I can't even get the whole thing in the shot. There. So, camera died after the time lapse, so what I did was I kept working. So, I have the plate in for the winch. I also made the door. Now that'll sit like that. And keep all the electronics nice and closed in. Keep it out of the sun, or just hide it, make it look a little cleaner. I also cleaned up all the corners on this piece because, well, I wanted to. I just thought it would look better. And what else did I do? Oh, I also welded in these bars right here. One, to give the axle something to sit on a little bit better, because they don't sit perfectly on the frame of the axle, or the trailer, sorry. So gives it something to sit on, and it'll give it a little bit of a lift. It was a little low, so all the people saying that that part's going to drag, I know. I'm not worried about it. The other trailer drags, and it's way taller than this one. So now we're going to clean up the mess that I have created all over the place, and we'll get started wiring this thing up. Okay, got the winch mounted on there. Those holes worked out perfectly for getting the screws in there. I had to tighten this as well, and as you can see, bolts way in there. And I was trying to do it with this, a pair of needle nose pliers, and it was taking a long time, even though it's not a very big screw. But it was taking a long time because somebody made this thing able to move. And then I realized I have a drill. I don't know if you can see it all that well, but there's a hole right there. So I drilled the hole. Now I can get my screwdriver in there and take that apart. It's the joys of making your own stuff. You can put holes wherever you want, because nobody's going to see that hole unless they're on the ground or it's standing up like this. So when you're making stuff on your own like this, make it easier for yourself. And remember, everything will probably have to come off, or just for servicing, or something breaks. So make it easier on yourself while, you know, trying to keep it somewhat clean. That's why that one little hole is there, and nobody's going to see it. It's going to be covered up by the legs most of the time too, anyhow, I think. No, it won't be, but you're really going to notice that little hole next to all my bad welds? I didn't think so. Let's get the servo in here for that as it falls over. So I will say, one thing that's nice about this thing being that tall is that I'm sitting down and I'm working on it. Just right here. Don't have to put it on the workbench. I got everything right here. So, positives. Even though it's 4 feet long, it's still easy to work on. Okay, got the servo mounted in there. Got the door all in the way. Sitting nice and clean. There's the winch. I drilled all these little holes along the bed. Those are for lights. So I got some amber, just lights, LEDs. I think they're 3 mils. The kit that they came with a little housing that it sits in, and these little plastic pieces that help keep the light inside of the housing. The unfortunate thing is these things have to be on the light, or on the wires of the light, before the light is connected to the wires. So why they did this, I have no idea. So I'm just going to super glue them into the housings and hope for the best. I drilled and tapped all these holes so I can put the housings in, then run the lights through the holes that are behind it, and then tie them all together, and hopefully they will light up. Here are the lights. They're just in there temporarily. I'm not going to glue them because I got to take them back out so I can rust this thing out. So all I'm going to do, just going to tie each side in together into basically one wire, and then run it into here to the light controller, aka the switch that will just turn them on. I'm sure somebody might say something in the comments along the lines of, you have to run them all individually into each individual circuit. You can't run that many lights into just one single wire into one output. These are LEDs. I have quite a bit of experience with wiring on at least big trucks, and from experience of wiring up lights on a few of my other trucks, RC trucks. Yeah. These 5 lights per side are not going to create enough of a draw that it's going to overwork the light control system that's in this thing. If it doesn't work, then I was wrong. But this is how I'm going to do it, because this is how I know that it will work. And if it doesn't, then I'll let you guys know. Because here, I don't mind telling you guys when I do something wrong. As you've seen, it happens quite often. So I'm going to get the wiring, just matching up the red with the red, black with the black. Splice them all together, heat shrink them, get them in there, and then try to test it, see what happens. Okay, after spending some time wiring, I have a tiny little battery that I changed the plugs on because I can. We have the BEC right here. We have the receiver, the servo. Now I have tested all this to make sure that, well, it wouldn't catch on fire. So I know that it works. Just turn that on. Turn that on. We have everything on. Here is our legs. They are a bit fast, but that's perfectly fine. Then we have, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but we have lights. Oh, you can see it really well. And if I flip that switch one more time, now we have tow truck flashing lights. And yes, I'm going to make all the lights do that too, because that is awesome. So this is just hooked up. There's just a junction block that I found. It's a light controller. It was pretty cheap. Now that winch is already busted. It wouldn't work correctly. It wouldn't go out, wouldn't go in. It would get stuck. Checked everything. Everything is perfectly fine. But underneath here are a bunch of metal shavings. So basically the thing is disintegrating itself just by, you know, moving. So I will get another one and I'll make sure that hopefully it can still use that same plate. But we have everything working. And the trailer, as you can see, there's no truck, nothing's connected to it. Oh, I still got to do that rear ramp. So let me do that real quick. But so as you can see, there's no truck connected to it. This trailer will have its own power entirely. Those are my dogs. So this is how I wanted it. I wanted the trailer to be completely independent from the truck so I can disconnect it and keep driving the truck away and still be able to control the trailer even without the truck connected. And I don't feel like bending down to plug in a trailer. Okay. Got the ram in there. There is our ramp. Does work quite fast, but it does work. Will it hold an RC back? Oh yeah. Yeah, I could have an RC roll back and just hit right against that and it'll be good. Might need to turn the power down on that. That's kind of... it's a bit ridiculous, but I have a trailer with functional ramps. Once again, it is all completely independent. See, it's not plugged into any of the trucks. No wires anywhere, just all right here. And eventually all this stuff will be in here. I do have to finish the wiring. Just wanted to make sure that my ideas worked, like the legs, the lights. That's so funny that they flash. And then our ramp. Oh yeah. Okay, so that's about it for the trailer. This will all be in here. We know that everything works, except for the winch. The winch does not work. I do have to do the wiring harness for the lights on the other side. I just wanted to test, make sure. So I'll get all the wires in there. Everything will be good. Alright guys, well that's it for the trailer. All I have to do is finish up the wiring harness on the other side for the lights. Some brake lights, which I just remembered that I forgot to do. Sorry. But besides that, I got to take everything back off so that way I can paint it / let it sit outside and rust for a couple of days and get a new winch. So the next time you see the trailer, it will be pretty much all done, rusted up. Pause. Wife is walking through. Continue. Hopefully the next time you'll see it, it'll be connected down to the truck because that's all rusted up and done. And also, my friend finished the body, and it is incredible. You guys are going to love it because I love it. And even if you don't love it, I don't care. It's mine. I love it. On the next episode, we will be finishing up the truck, putting the body on it, and wiring up all the lights for that one as well. So that'll be the next video for that. And then I guess this series is coming to an end. We'll get a running video, get all the RCs out, and have a fun idea for this truck plus the trailer plus the other trailer and the other truck. Have some funny ideas, so we're gonna give it a shot. Just want to say thank you for everybody for liking and subscribing and commenting. The positivity is just absolutely awesome, so keep it coming. It's a good motivator for me to work a little bit extra hard on this thing or these things. I don't know how I'm going to top it because I don't entirely know what I'm going to do next, but it's going to be something a bit simpler than a 6x6 and a powered trailer. So we will see you on the next one.